everyone, and welcome to Jack and Cat Adventures. Today we're going to be making pork medallions with a mushroom gravy sauce. So let's get started. I have pork tenderloin here. I washed it, I dried it, and I also took off the silver skin and a lot of the hard fat. Then you're going to cut it into half-inch pieces, okay? Then once you get that done, you're going to take 3 tablespoons of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, onion powder, pepper, and paprika. In your pan, you're going to have 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to flour these medallions and shake off the excess. Just get them all the way around and lay them on a dry plate or pan or whatever you want to put it on. So all you're going to do right now is we're going to coat these medallions and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so now I have all the breading on our pork medallions, and I did double the breading recipe, and it was perfect for 2 pork loins. I also got the pork loins at Costco if you needed to know. Now you want your olive oil and your butter really hot. We're going to place these in a single layer because you want them to start kind of getting crisp on the bottom, so you get that crumb in the bottom of your pan. That's going to make our gravy really good. So all you do is sit it in here and cook it on medium to medium high depending on your stove, and about 3 minutes per side, or until it's 145 degrees internal temperature. We're going to let these get crispy on one side and then we're going to flip them. This will take a little while because you don't want to overcrowd your pan. Alright, so I flipped these, and come in and see the nice, here I'll bring it up to you. See how crispy brown that looks? That's what you're looking for on both sides, okay? Now, this is all going to, the time that you cook this for is all going to depend on the thickness of your pork that you cut. I did use a ruler to make mine pretty even, only because I wanted it to cook evenly in the pan. So I'm going to start taking some of these out. They're done. And once they start turning brown like this and you're a little worried that they might get overdone, pull them. What you can do at the end is we're going to put this into our gravy, and that gravy is going to be hot. So it will continue to cook the pork for a little bit. So if you're a little worried that it might get too dry out for you, then go ahead and pull it and then leave it in your gravy for about, I would say, 45 minutes to an hour, just to make sure it's cooked through, and it'll keep it more moist for you. Alright, I'm just finishing up with these, and I do know mine are not cooked through. I am worried about them drying out. So I'm just going to, at this point, I'm going to take them out, and I'm going to cover them with foil, and we're going to move on to our gravy. If you are really concerned that this won't cook in your gravy, which I'm not concerned, it will cook in your gravy when your gravy's hot. You can always wrap it in foil and just stick it in a warm oven until you're ready to go ahead and finish off the process. Alright, so now we're moving on to our gravy. I have portobello mushrooms, or you can use cremini. And you have 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon of olive oil in here, another, after you finish cooking your pork, you're going to put that in. I'm going to show you how to clean mushrooms really easy and so they don't get waterlogged. Take a damp paper towel and just wipe them really good. And this stops them from soaking up all that water, and they get waterlogged and they don't taste good and they won't caramelize. And we want them to caramelize for this. And I'll show you how good this does. See, it gets it all off. So we're going to put our mushrooms in here in a single layer. So you're going to have to do this in stages just like you did your meat, because we want these to caramelize. It doesn't have to be precise. You can really do, you know, a little more than a single layer. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this all coated in the butter and the oil. And now we're going to turn them up. We're going to cook them for about 3 minutes or until they're caramelized and brown. Oh, and remember, subscribe, please. It's free, and it will help us grow our YouTube so we can bring more content to you. So don't forget, subscribe. All right, so our mushrooms are nice and brown. Here, Jackie, come in here and take a look at these. You want them really deep brown. That is caramelized, okay? Once your mushrooms get like that, transfer them to a bowl, because now we're going to start building our gravy. And you don't want to use a stick-free pan, because you want your meat and your mushrooms, the brown from them, in the bottom of your pan, because we're going to use that for our gravy. So next what we need to do is put 2 tablespoons of butter back in our pan. And we're going to add shallots. Now all shallots is a very mild onion. So if you don't have a shallot, just go ahead and use an onion. And it was 1 minced shallot, 4 minced garlic cloves. And so we're going to put our shallots in here, and we're going to let them soften up a little bit. Kind of do this on a low. You don't want to burn your onion or your garlic. You want this to become translucent. Okay. Alright, so my shallots are ready. So I'm going to add garlic. And this calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. I'm not even going to do that much because we don't like it really hot. So just a pinch is all I'm going to put in. That's it. You do you if you like hot. Alright, so now we're just going to cook this for about 30 seconds just so the garlic gets a little bit cooked.
You should smell it. It smells great in here.
I can't get that open. Can you get it open, please? Okay, once our garlic is lightly cooked, we are going to add a 1/4 cup of flour. Stir that around. Just kind of getting it mixed up. Alright, now for the sauce, you have 2½ cups of reduced sodium beef broth, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1 tablespoon of reduced soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, 1 teaspoon of beef bouillon. I'm using Better Than bouillon. And then 1 teaspoon of dried parsley and ½ teaspoon each of dried oregano and dried thyme. Alright, so we're going to start building this now. Take that off just so it don't burn. You don't want that flour to burn. All I'm doing is going to mix this up a little bit. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to cook this until it's thickened. So let's just keep stirring this around and I'll be back to you when it gets thickened. Alright, so my gravy is thickened up. And I did double my gravy because my family loves gravy. So I did double it, but it's the single recipe written out for you guys, okay? So once your gravy gets thick, you're going to add back your mushrooms. Stir them around in there. See how nice and thick the gravy came out? Okay, what we're going to do next, we're going to put back in our medallions. We're just going to nestle them into the gravy. So just kind of lay them in there gently. We don't want to move them around too much because the meat will fall apart. It's very, very tender. Alright, just put them into the gravy and that's it. Then it's ready to serve. Alright, so this is what it looks like. It looks delicious, you guys. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And remember, you do you.